A national championship is on the line. We are here at the Hank Rice Soccer Center in Saskatoon, where the Winman Clutch taking on the Nooks out of Edmonton. It's Ryan Schweitzer along with Emily Humbert. You can just, the tension and the nerves are palpable as we get set to play for national gold here, Emily.
Absolutely. The guys look like they're super excited, and I think we've got a really good match ahead of us here.
Yeah, two teams that fought really, really hard to get here. The Nooks from Northern Alberta, Edmonton, taking on the Winman Clutch out of beautiful Winnipeg. Everyone's set to go here on the court as we get set to play for a national championship. Players in their positions right now. Emily, you're a 5-year player with the U of S Huskies. You just played out your eligibility. You've played in these high-stakes games. You know, what's it like for these athletes on the court right now?
Absolutely. See, these guys are probably just really looking forward to getting the first couple points under their belts. The nerves have really set in right now, but once the ball gets into play, they have take a couple swings, they'll be ready to go and really settle in.
The Winman Clutch are going to be on the left of your screen, taking on the Nooks. On the right, we are set to serve, and inducing play for the Clutch is Jamie Calgie. Ball right back into the Nooks court, and we see some early set nerves here between these two teams. They try to set up 3 hits. Ball goes long as that was hit far by Jaden Hebert, and the first point is going to go to the Clutch.
Yeah, absolutely. He looks like he really attacked strong on that pipe ball, just probably a little bit of nerve showing. A little too far out of bounds there.
Calgie to serve. Deuce's play, float serve just over the net. Nooks going for that big hit, recovered nicely by the Clutch. They set up their 3 hits, set just a little bit too far away from Nigel Nielsen, and the Nooks will get the opportunity to serve.
Yeah, you always like seeing that middle stepping in to take the second ball. I think a little bit of nerves coming from the middle, but he'll get that second one no problem.
Chase Maris to serve for the Nooks. Float serve comes in, diving stab at that from the Winman side, tipped over, recovered by Nooks. Far side, big hit there as burying that was Hunter Stewart. That's going to fire up the Alberta squad.
That's a beautiful shot from number 9. You see him really starting to establish that line shot, make the blockers respect all the amounts of shots that he has. That's a great opening swing.
Great setting here as well for this championship. Finally got the big court set up here at the Hank Rice Soccer Center. These teams from not too far away from Saskatoon, one from just east and one from just west in Winnipeg and Edmonton, so they've traveled with lots of fans and family here. As Chase Maris gets set to serve, float serve comes over, played by Winman. Battle at the net, and showing some superiority is Tanner Pierce, one of the taller players on the court with an aggressive block.
Yeah, Tanner Pierce looking very well composed there, staying clean on the net, not having any net violation. That's a great opening kill for him.
Nice and clean. Nooks set off the serve. Big kill there, just a little bit too far, is putting a little bit too much gusto and not enough verve on that ball is Alec Morelli. And it's going to be a quick 4-1 lead here for the Nooks. They have to be happy with that start.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great start. We'll keep seeing if Calgie can continue this service run here.
Set up by Winman, and again that impenetrable block thrown up by Piers and Kern. Not giving Winman much to work with there, and we're going to see a quick timeout here, and the Nooks are fired up.
They're really excited, and they should be. That's a great opening 5 points for them.
So you play the role of the Winman coach right now, Lindsay Habib. What's he going to be saying to his team over there in that huddle?
I think he's trying to get them to just kind of take a few deep breaths, relax. Their first contact is what's killing them right now, so they need to take a little breath. They should be going for a high 2 pass on their serve-receive pass, and I think after that they'll be just fine.
And on the flip side, everything coming up daisy so far for the Nooks as we take a look at their huddle. You know, it's probably fun to coach with the lead, but not as easy as it would sound, as he certainly wants to keep this momentum going on the Nooks side, Coach Nathan Kern.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's probably reminding his guys to be ready for the ball to come back over. Even if it is a little bit ugly, they've got to be ready and on their toes and not just expecting to rely on their serves here. Chase
Maris will serve for the Nooks when play is blown in. 17U gold medal final here at Nationals. 17U really, really competitive. A lot of parity within these Tier 1 teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you see the path that both of these guys or teams took to get here. 2 3-set matches for both these teams, both in their semis and quarters. It was close for both of these teams to get to the final. So they've worked hard, and we're going to see a great final match here, I think, this afternoon.
Chase Maris set to serve with his team up 5-1 here, first set. Maris sends it over. First contact made. Chasing after that is Winman. They hit it over. Maris recovers. Set up by Kern. And again, big hit there from Hunter Stewart. Winman recovers. They lob the ball over the net. They're going to try and set up Stewart again off the block. And just inbounds, a bit of a break there for the Winman team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Cameron Kern thought that ball was going to be tooled a little farther off the block and let it bounce inside, but let's see what they can do on serve receive here.
Alec Morelli to serve. 2 serving 5 here in this first set. Morelli, knuckler, just a bit too far. And now for the Nooks, Cameron Kern will get set to serve here with his team up 6-2. That point wasn't the Mona Lisa for the Nooks, but they'll certainly take it here and enjoying a 4-point lead. Kern to serve, well back of the service line. Spin serve. And those spin serves, high-risk reward type situation. It's great when they work out, but sometimes that happens.
Absolutely. You got to find that perfect toss, and that toss can be very difficult to find. But on the flip side, you want to be putting the other team in trouble, and that's what a spin serve can do.
Gideon Dresser serving for Winman. Quick tip there sent over by Pierce. Now Winman off the block and out of bounds. Nigel Nielsen hammering that off the opposition. And now his team trails by just 2, 4 serving 6. Winman trying to build some momentum.
Absolutely, and that's a great opening swing from Nigel Nielsen. Seeing those hands and using them, great opening swing.
Winman induces play. Pierce tips it over. Recovered by the Manitoba squad. Nielsen! Ducking out of the way are the Nooks. And Nielsen just a little bit underneath that one. 7 serving 4.
Yeah, I'm really liking how the Nooks are establishing their middle early, and I think that's really causing the Winman to have to stay on their toes and be ready on defense, and it's putting them out of system right now.
Hunter Stewart, we've seen some big kills from him earlier. Left-handed player. Oh, nope, switches to the right. And again, going for that spin serve, but putting it a bit too far. Nooks will look to establish a strong serving game here after missing their last 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they're really feeling like they can go back and take a rip on it with their lead. But as the lead slowly diminishes, we might look to see them serving a little bit more strategically.
Big serve from Nielsen. You can tell some championship nerves coming into play as both teams now trying to establish that spin serve.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we'll see it perhaps get more and more. It'll go in more as the match progresses here.
Tanner Pierce. He's going to give it a whirl now. And there he goes. Induces play. Set up, hit over. Back row bump. And from the back row flies Hunter Stewart. A dynamic play. Point. Nooks 9-5.
And that's just a beautiful pipe attack. Great choice by the setter. We've got a middle running a perfect 50, and then to set it over top makes it so much more difficult for the blockers on the Winman side.
Here's Tanner Pierce. Sends that in. Off the block and out of bounds. James Calgie sending that off the opposition. 6 serving 9.
Yeah, I think Winman right now, when they have an opportunity, are doing a really good job of using the Nooks block and trying to tool off and getting as many touches off the block as they can.
Ball comes into play. Backdoor play by the Nooks, and burying is Caden Aceron. And the Nooks win the race to double digits here. It'll be 10 serving 6 after that nice play from Aceron. He'll serve now after electrifying his team moments ago. Winman, first hit. Quick play there and a good recovery by the libero Jet Poe, but the ceiling not quite high enough for him. Quick reflex play there, and Winman gets the ball back.
Absolutely. I think that's a great establishment of the middle on the Winman side. He's a great strong shot to position 5. Catches the libero ready, but not quite relaxed enough to dig up that ball.
Brandon Voggs to Poe. Nooks off the block, off of everyone, and through traffic. Big hit from Jaden Hebert as he gets service back from his squad. That ball going through a few fingertips en route to the back of the court. Hebert to serve now.
Yeah, that's a great swing by Hebert. He's going back to the service line with a lot of confidence after that swing.
Hebert serves. Nielsen. Big hit there through everyone. Hebert does a good job of getting himself out of the way of that ball as it sails through the back of the court. 5-point lead now for the Nooks as they look to pull away here. Hebert serves quickly. Winman goes for the tip. There to recover is Aceron. Far side, Stewart off the block and out of bounds. Hunter Stewart, an impressive player on that left side, making it work.
Absolutely. You're seeing a lot of shots coming out by Stewart here, and he sees that ball was set a lot inside, but he was still able to turn his body enough and slide that shot right off the block. That's a great tool and a great kill for Hunter Stewart.
I know for Winman en route to the final here, there was a lot of 3-set matchups here, which indicates that they may be prone to some slow starts when you look at their road to the finals here, and I'd say the Nooks certainly look like the team here on the right of the screen that certainly seem to have settled down quicker here.
Yeah, absolutely. The Nooks have really settled into this opening set. You see the Winman, they actually, I believe, lost their first 2 sets of their semi and quarterfinal games, or the first set of their semi and quarterfinal games, and then came back to win the second 2 sets. So we'll look to see if they can have a strong surge in the second half of this first set, or maybe they're ready to start that second half set really strong. They're by no means out of it, though. It's only 13-7 here in the first.
Do you think the Nooks are aware of that? In a situation like this in a tournament, how much scouting are you able to do, really, of your opposition? Just when it's such a zoo in these venues and everyone's running and trying to make the next court, how much do these teams know about each other, do you think?
See, I think they know a decent amount just because these are obviously the top 2 teams around, and they probably are pretty familiar with them, having played each other at other tournaments, Best of the West, all over the country. But in a tournament like this, it's tough to scout because you're playing so many games.
Hebert to serve. Nielsen, far side, off the block, recovered by Winman. They'll try it again, sailing out of the back of the court, and delivering that is Nielsen through the back of the court. Nielsen trying to establish that power game, but just sending it through, and you get the feeling that if Nielsen gets some good swings in here, that momentum could shift. 14 serving 7, though, biggest lead thus far for the Nooks. And that time a big hit by Kalji off the block, and landing hard in the Winman court. And this great start for the Nooks continues.
That was a beautiful block from setter Cameron Kern. He really saw the set was falling inside, jumped back in, and put his hands deep into the court. Beautiful block.
Look at the body language on both benches. The Nooks side is fired up. Everyone with their butt on the seat in the Winman side. However, there's some momentum for them to build off of as that block is drilled out of bounds, and it'll be 8 serving 15. And now Winman will look to claw their way back into this one. Brandon Vogt set to serve here. And we'll see if the Manitoba squad on the left of your screen can't get some momentum going. Float serve, played by the libero. Backdoor set off the block. Nooks recover. Stewart from the back row. Didn't kill that one. Winman expecting a fastball. They got a changeup. And again, quick hit over the net there by Maris. And a little bit of a miscommunication there between Hebert and his libero Poe. And that'll be a point. 9 serving 15 deficit, now 6 for Winman.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of tentativeness that you don't want to see in the backcourt, especially on a down ball situation, but they'll recover here.
Boggs to serve. Far side, off the block, nicely recovered there by Poe. Far side, block off fingertips, and we had someone all over the net there. It looked like it was on the Winman side. And the Nooks will happily take that point, 16 serving 9.
Yeah, that was a beautiful point for the Nooks. You see a great defensive effort by the libero, and then a beautiful set outside from our power attacker. That's just a great all-around play, and then it ended with the Winman on the net, but still that was a good all-around volleyball play there.
Benjamin Kennedy to serve. 3 hits, Nielsen off the block, spinning. And that's a big play there by Nigel Nielsen. It looks like that's a player that Winman's really trying to get involved in their attack.
Absolutely. They're just going to try to give him as much volume as possible to really get him in his own rhythm of attacking. And you see him there. There's a bit of a seam in that block for the Nooks, and he was able to take advantage.
Jackson Pankratz to serve now. 10 serving 16 here. First set, 17U National Final. Played by Hebert. Quick set there to Pierce, and a good heads-up play at the net by Tanner Pierce.
That's an incredible set from Kern to Pierce there. And you know, that's a great setter-middle relationship. The middle knows always to be ready with, especially with Kern setting from the attack line there on a 30. Great play.
Cameron Kern, the setter in question there, working well with big Tanner Pierce. 17 serving 10. And the aforementioned Cameron Kern goes for the spin serve. Nicely executed and played by Winman. Nielsen tips it, and Nielsen coming in fired up. Bit too much on that tip attempt there. Another serve here for Kern.
Yeah, Nielsen's just trying to work in as many shots as he can. He's seeing 2 blockers in front of him all the time, which is tough for a power attacker, but that tip just sailed a little long.
Cameron Kern. Spin serve. Good spin serve. Talk about the risk reward of that serve. Paid off there.
Absolutely. When it connects, and is very hard to receive.
Well, that last serve is going to be a tough act to follow for Cameron Kern. We'll see what happens here with his team up 9 now, 19-10, first set so far. Everything coming up daisies for the Northern Alberta team known as the Nooks. Kern works that serve, this time something playable from Winman. Far side, off the block, nicely recovered by Pierce. They set up Hunter Stewart. He tips it over. Off the block, through everyone. And a good play at the net by Shane Gable to put that off of a few bodies and get service back to the Winman side of the court.
Yeah, it's nice to see Gable getting involved out of the middle. That's a lot of pressure being put on the outside hitters for the Winman right now, just with the trouble they're having passing, so it's good to see the middles get involved.
Ball sent into play by Gideon Dresser. Pierce, big hit by Pierce, recovered by Winman. Backdoor, Stewart. And a big hit from Stewart. We had some Winman players on the net again. And the Nooks win the race to 20 here, 20 serving 11.
Yeah, I'm so impressed with Kern right now and how he's able to establish his offense. That comes from great defensive efforts from his team as well. But that's what's causing the Winman to be on the net. He's able to spread that ball around so quickly.
Spin serve from Stewart. Played nicely by Voggs. Third set hit, tipped over, diving for it are the Nooks, unable to get to it. Heads up play there to change things up. Nooks were expecting something powerful and a nice tip coming from Winman.
Yeah, it's always a good idea to establish that tip, especially right behind the block when you've got that setter or right side position player coming over and trying to dig that up and then getting ready to transition to attack.
Darian Morris-Izzard serves. Kern setting up. Jaden Hebert and a big block coming from deep in the heart of Portage Avenue in Winnipeg.
Absolutely. You're seeing now the Nooks starting to struggle a little bit from the serve receive, and then that makes it easier for the Winman to establish their block on the outside hitter.
13 serving 20. It's going to be a tall task for Winman to come back into this one, but they could be establishing momentum for the next set as that serve sails a little bit long, 21-13. As some personnel changes now, the libero checks out, and checking in as well is Chase Maris. Coming in where Benjamin Kennedy was for the Nooks as Big Tanner Pierce gets set to serve here. Spin serve from Pierce. Played nicely by Winman. Backdoor setup just a bit too far as Colton Baldoff. And was that inbounds on the far side? Yes, it was. And getting service back is Winman after a good play by Baldoff. 14-21. Winman getting some momentum here. First pass out of bounds, and that's just going to be pushed over by Hunter Stewart. Big hit set up there, and a nice play by Nigel Nielsen, or pardon me, Alex Morelli, to bury that ball. Morelli getting involved in the offense here, and momentum slowly but surely shifting to the Manitoba side.
Yeah, absolutely. The Winnipeg Winmen are really starting to put pressure on the Nooks and making them give them free balls and things they're not used to doing, and they're taking advantage, which is good for the Winmen.
Big block there by the Nooks. Chasing after that one is Winman, and they managed to recover in 3 hits. Kern setting up Chase Maris. And the big man in the middle with a nice heads-up play after another good set from Kern.
Yeah, absolutely. Maris is finding that position 6 shot, which usually isn't open, but in this case, the Winman defender in position 6 was caught moving and didn't have his feet stopped, which makes it tough to dig the ball.
Matthew Plouffe gets subbed in just in time to serve here with his team up 22-15. Momentum over the last few points, though, as we touched on, going more and more the way of Winman. Winman will get that ball over the net in 3 hits. Now the Nooks with a chance to set up. Stewart coming out of the back court, and that was just off of his forearm, not quite clearing the tape. 16-22 now.
Yeah, and that's just a combination of a set that might have been a little too high or an approach that started a little too early. Anyways, number 9, Hunter Stewart's forced to make a shot that he would not like to make, and then it ended up in the net there.
Timing is oh so important, and it just wasn't ideal for the Nooks in that situation. Winman serves, and a nice setter dump there by Cameron Kern.
Nice to see Kern establish himself. He hasn't established himself yet this set, but then the element of surprise is there, and that ball hits the floor nice and clean.
Serving now is Jaden Hebert, just over the net, and not quite over the net in 3 hits there is Winman. With some timing issues, 24-16, a first set win looking to be imminent here for the Nooks.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what happens on set point here.
Hebert serves. Winman sets up off the block, in the net, dugout, and sent over the net. Hebert recovers. Kern, Stewart, off the block. And there's the point they were looking for. The Nooks with a solid first set statement here. The first bit of the first set certainly went their way, but give credit to Winman. They made it interesting in the second half of that set.
Absolutely. I think that's a sign of what's to come for the Winman. They really started to hit their stride within the mid to second half of that set, so I'm expecting a really good start for the second set here.
25-16, the Nooks take the first set. Set number 2, a convincing 25-16 set 1 win for the Nooks out of Edmonton, taking on Winman out of Manitoba. Of course, when we look at how these two teams got here, Emily Humbert, it's not unusual for Winman to have a first set loss.
No, we see in their quarterfinal, they beat the Pac-Man Gold from Ontario, but lost the first set 27-25 and ended up winning the next 2 sets. And then their semifinal, they beat the Seaside Surf from BC. After losing the first set, they came back and won the next 2. So, and if this first point is any indication, we see them starting to pick up their momentum a little bit here again.
They fell behind early in the first set, trailing by as much as 6-1 early, but they're on the scoreboard here first and getting set to serve for the Winman clutch team. Sending that over is Voggs. Far side, big hit from Stewart. Did that stay in? Yes, it did. Just riding the razor's edge down the line. And Stewart, those hits are an invasive species entering the Winman court that they got to figure out how to deal with.
Absolutely. Beautiful hit, but a beautiful set coming from Kern, falling backwards all the way across the court, being able to push it right into that sweet spot in the window, and he's able to finish so well.
Kern trying to work with Pierce again with that quick set. This time not quite able to time it right. It's a 2-1 lead for Winman, and serving them will be Alec Morelli. He'll induce play here momentarily with his team up 1. 2-1 the score, second set. Morelli heaves that over from the standing position. Stewart, far side. And Hunter Stewart was a player in the first set who had established some dominance. However, point going the way of Winman here.
Yeah, I think they're calling Hunter Stewart on the net, maybe on his follow-through there, which is bound to happen when you're taking as many swings as Stewart is, especially with the ball set a little tight there.
Powerful swing like Stewart. You have to think that'll happen from time to time. They'll try him again. Off the block. Recovering is the Manitoba team. Voggs setting up Nielsen. And Nielsen just not getting as much of that ball as he would have liked. And it'll be 2 serving 3 here for the Nooks as Cameron Kern, the setter for the Nooks, who had a great first set here, sets to serve. Expect the jumping spin turn from Kern as he sends that in. That ball with all sorts of movement, and it's sent right back into the Nooks court after the first hit. Far side, nice dig in the back court there. Winman recovers, and Voggs not quite able to send it over. And some championship nerves perhaps coming into play there.
Yeah, absolutely. And in a situation like that, you really want to try to use your hands to set the ball over the net. You're getting a lot more contact, or a lot more control over where you're putting that third contact. But that's nerves from Voggs, and he'll have a second to think about it, but I'm sure we'll see him back in this match.
Coach Lindsay Habib right away talking to his player and saying, that's okay. We'll get it back for you. And that ball sails out of bounds, and they do get it back. 4-2 now. Quick lead here for Winman. Set to serve for them is Gideon Dresser. Dresser to serve. Sends it in. Played by the libero, and Kern not quite able to recover that. And it's a quick 5-2 lead for Winman now. Winman true to form, coming out strong in the second set.
Absolutely. We've seen this. We know this happens for them during the tournament. So let's see if the Nooks can stop this lead.
5-2. Dresser sends it in. Nooks setting up Pierce. Diving play there by Jeanette. And hit off the block, far side by Baldoff. Now Stewart with the tip. Finds some court. Great dig by the libero off the block. Jeanette with a great dig moments ago. He plays it. Now Nielsen! Just a bit too far over the block. And the Nooks get the ball back, 4 serving 5.
Absolutely. Really impressive rally for Riel Jeanette there. Great pickups on defense and an awesome second ball contact to set up his hitter. The hitters are taking a bit too much of a rip on a tough out-of-system ball, but it's nice to see them swinging still.
Fantastic dig moments ago by Jeanette. Exciting play as Stewart booms that ball in for an ace.
Wow, and when it connects on that spin serve, and it drops so fast and is coming with so much speed, it's very difficult to pass. And you see now the Winman moving back into a 4-person serve receive to limit the amount of seams present and hopefully assist each other in passing here.
High risk reward on that spin serve after an ace. That one sent well out of bounds. 6 serving 5 as Nigel Nielsen set to serve. Nielsen with that spinner. Played in the back row by Stewart. Pierce! Big hit there. Not much Winman can do about that. A dominant play from a dominant player.
That was a beautiful attack from Pierce. He came around from position 2 and was able to cut that ball back to position 5, which is a tough shot for a middle. But that was a great transition effort. Awesome finish for Pierce.
Tanner Pierce making his presence felt. He'll serve now with the score all tied up at 6, second set. 1-0 lead for the Nooks on the left of your screen. Dug by Jeanette, pulled out of the net, and sent over back to the Nooks side. Hebert off the block, recovers. Pierce, now Hebert. Through everyone, and a good play by Jaden Hebert. 7 serving 6.
Great swing by Hebert, but a great second ball contact by Pierce, the middle, who's playing in position 5 right now. Nice and calm. He was able to put a nice high ball up, and he was able to finish Nielsen.
7 serving 6. Tanner Pierce, spin serve, Jeanette. Tip, quick setup there, and nice work between setter and hitter from Gideon Dresser and Shane Gable to fire up the Winman squad. 7-7 and a good back and forth match here.
Absolutely, and you're seeing now the Winman are able to get their middle involved on that good pass off serve receive, and that makes it tougher for the Nooks defense here.
Shane Gable, spin serve, Hebert, and pushed over the net by Kern. Bumped over, now Kern. Hebert, far side. Dug out. Now Winman off the libero. No one's going to be able to get to that. A well-hit ball by James Calgie, 8 serving 7.
Yeah, it looks like Calgie almost went over top of the block there. The block was unable to get a touch, and that makes it really tough for the libero sitting in position 5 to make a nice clean dig.
Gable to serve. Kern. Quick set there. Nice work between setter and hitter. Kern and Ross Bishop checking into the game. 8-8.
That's a great swing for Bishop. He sees the blocker taking him to position 5, hangs in the air a little bit, and he's able to cut that ball back to position 1. Beautiful shot.
Caden Aceron. Spin serve forthcoming. Just off the tape. 8-9. Either team able to get some momentum going here.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot closer of a set than we saw in the first one, and we'll see what happens here moving into the double-digit points of this set.
Colton Baldoff to serve. Back and forth game. Baldoff handcuffing the libero. Poe a little bit, but recovering. Are the Nooks. Now Winman! And a big hit off the block by Calgie. Calgie with a strong offensive game, and Winman wins the race to double digits, 10 serving 8 here. And set to serve Colton Baldoff. Baldoff. Poe. And a big hit there, but just a little bit too much gas on that from Gideon Dresser. And the Nooks get the ball back, 9-10.
Sometimes with those overpasses, you get so excited and you want to pound them to the floor, but it's tough. You have to be patient and really wait to see where they're going to fall before you decide what shot you're going to attack.
Jaden Hebert into the net, 11-9. It's been consistent 1- and 2-point leads for the team on the right of your screen, that being the Winman Clutch out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, as James Calgie serves. That ball sails out of bounds. Interesting set number 2. A lot of points being left on the table by both sides here.
Yeah, absolutely. You're seeing, I think, some nerves setting in still here, and especially the nerves show up from the service line where they're going to show. So we'll see as the teams start to settle into the second set here what can happen.
12-10. Winman really looking to start running away with this one. It's been consistent 1- and 2-point leads. Alec Morelli is serving now. Eleven serving 12. The set needs a hero.
Absolutely. This set needs a service run, I think.
Well, Kern's going to try with that spin serve. There you go. That's just what the doctor ordered. And a big hit. Nielsen, though, just a bit too far. And we're all tied up at 12.
Yeah, I think Nielsen might have felt a few more hands on the block than were actually there. It looked like he was trying to go off hands, but there were no hands there, and it sailed out of bounds. Cameron
Kern has had a strong game at setter for the Nooks out of Edmonton. Great serve from Kern.
That's a beautiful cross-court serve from Kern. That is landing almost exactly on the far sideline, which is so hard to pass. Great serve.
Cross-court spinning like that, just the optics, and trying to return that has got to be a chore. That spin serve. There it is again, this time played by Nielsen. At the net, big block by Pierce, and Tanner Pierce again right where he needs to be. Now 14-12 Nooks.
Pierce did a great job on that one of just waiting and not getting up too early. He didn't show what position he was going to take until he saw this set happen, and then he was able to get his hands over that block.
With the Nooks in danger of starting a run and getting some momentum going here, Winman using a timeout. Put you in the role of coach again. You're Coach Habib on the Winman side. What are you saying to the squad here?
I think they're talking about how they're going to pass this spin serve from Kern. Kern's had a couple in a row. He's getting very confident. They're looking to discuss what seams they're taking on the service eve, who's passing what, who's got what line seam. They're just looking for a solid 2 pass off this serve. They're trying not to be too perfect on anything, but just really relaxing and looking for a solid pass that they can run a bit of an offense off of.
Playing in these championship games as well, it's got to be a whole other animal. I mean, you make it through tier number 1, but just in these games, it's got to be a whole other mindset. And as a coach, you know, that's got to be a bit of a challenge to work through with these athletes, I would think.
Absolutely, and now is not necessarily the time to really go at your athletes if you're unhappy with how they're performing. They are already fired up enough with a lot of adrenaline coursing through them, so their coaches probably right now are really looking to just calm down their guys, trying to get them playing back into the headspace that they normally play in, and we'll see how that timeout went for the Winman here.
Winman, no strangers to adversity. They trail 14-12, second set down 1-0. Dug out of the net, and all over the net for Winman is Gideon Dresser. And 15-12 Nooks. And Cameron Kern going on a bit of a run here. Nooks need an answer for this spin serve. Kern with momentum on his side. Sails it through the court after helping his team get the lead back, 13 serving 15. Gideon Dresser to serve with his team down by 2 here, second set. Dresser sends it in, played by Hebert. Far side, Stewart. And Hunter Stewart. Haven't called his name in a few, but he checks back into this game in a big way, 16-13.
Very impressive to see that Stewart can hit just as well out of the right side as he can at a power. That's a beautiful cross-court attack.
Stewart to serve now with his team up 3 and up 1-0 here. Stewart, spin serve, played by Calgie. Far side, Nielsen. Stewart plays that. Pierce tips it. Back set and sent over. Nooks chasing after that ball, and grabbing that is Poe. Quick set, good dig, however, just a bit too far. Diving play by Kern there, but just a bit too far away from any teammates, 14-16 now.
Yeah. Coach Habib will be happy to see how his team executed that free ball offense there. Beautiful clean pass, able to find the middle on an attack, and that ball falls. Great play by the Winman.
Nigel Nielsen serves it, played by Poe. Big play there. Nice play by Jeanette.
And there was a net violation there on the Winman. You see the Winman probably getting a little too excited on the block. They've really got to try to stay calm, keep their composure, really tighten their core when they're jumping over the net, and keep those hands nice and strong, trying to stay off the net.
Tanner Pierce. Spin serve, played by Jeanette. Quick setup there off the block. Good hit by Shane Gable. Off the opposition and out of bounds. 15 serving 17. The aforementioned Gable to serve. This team is led by as much as 2 in this second set. They trail by 2 now. In a game where we haven't seen a lot of momentum either side, not in this set. Hebert with the big hit through the court and not off anyone. And the deficit for Winman is just 1 now. 16 serving 17. Gable to serve, Winman team. Their bench looking a little bit more fired up now. Kern, Hebert off the block. And just a miscommunication on the Nooks side of the net.
Yeah, that's the one that kind of makes you gasp a little bit, and you want someone to be going for that ball. Right now, what they probably want to talk about in that timeout is just having everyone super engaged, ready on defense, ready on the block coverage. They've had so much success from their attackers. They may not be as ready to defend on the event of a block, so this is probably just a good reminder timeout to be ready on defense.
Nooks coach Nathan Kern sensing some momentum may be building for the opposition and calling that timeout, and you touched on it, addressing some of the fundamentals here. We were both talking before this match, what is a Nook? Now, the Nooks team out of Edmonton, their parent club, if you will, the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, OOKS, O-O-K-S, and OOK is a type of owl, so a Nook is a play on words to an ook. So I guess a Nook is an owl. So
Yes, I believe so. This is news to me as well, but a very cool story.
we'll go with that. So, and on the flip side, the Winman clutch, hoping to come up clutch here in this second set. 17-17 in this second set race to 25 here. The Nooks, a type of owl, they'll be hooting and hollering if they can win this set here. 17 apiece, but the Winman clutch have other plans. Gable serves. Hebert, Kern, Hebert, tips. Diving play there by Winman. However, they weren't able to put anything together. 18-17, Nooks get the ball back.
Nice to see Hebert in a great pass to attack transition for him and really mixing up his shots, catching the position one defender on the Winman side a little sleepy.
Caden Aceron to serve. The libero, Jeanette, dives into the play and sent over by Nielsen. Stewart, Kern, Stewart from the back, just out of bounds. 18-18.
And I really appreciate how you see the Nooks really pushing that speed on their pipe attack. Unfortunately, it's just a little low in there. The back row power attack players are really sliding through that ball and not necessarily hitting it at the top of their reach.
Colton Baldoff casually serves that over. Dug out by the libero. Quick setter dump. And now Calgi just over. And I don't think that's where the Nooks were expecting that hit from Calgi to go.
Oh, that was a really nice hit from Calgi, and off speed down the line, just outside of the blockers. That's a tough one to defend, absolutely.
19-18, Winman with the lead. Baldoff sends the serve in. Quick hit there. Maris off of everyone. Good setter-hitter relationship there coming into play.
Yeah, Kern did a great job of keeping his body away from the net and really turning and able to set that ball to his middle off the net enough, and our middle was able to finish there.
19-19, the tension in the air is palpable. Calgi gets his team the serve back. Winning the race to 20 is Winman, 20 serving 19.
That's two great attacks in a row for Calgi. He'll take that confidence back to the service line here. Let's see if he can take them on a bit of a run.
His team up by one. Calgi just over the tape. Couple players collide. They'll have to bump it over the net. Stewart does. Tipped over the net by Morelli. And now the Nuke. Stewart off the block and out of bounds. And that's what Hunter Stewart does. Generating some offense for his team, 2020.
Absolutely. Stewart has been so good this afternoon at really tooling that block when he sees it. But then again, the Winman were called on the net, which has really been their Achilles heel this game so far.
Chance Maris to serve in this 17U National Gold Medal Final. Tier 1. Calgi. Battle at the net. And Stewart with a heads-up play, getting his team the point. Reaching over the net, someone from Winman, it looked like.
Yeah, Gideon Dressler, the setter, he's trying to keep that ball off the net as much as he can, but because he is in the back row, he's unable to keep that ball on his side without touching the net.
21-20. And now some nervous anticipation maybe starting to set in on the Nuke side of the court.
Yeah, absolutely. With only 3 points left before a match point for the Nukes, it's a good idea. We see the Winman clutch taking a timeout, just trying to settle their troops. It's only 2 points right now. If they win this next point back, it's a totally different game. But a difference between a 1 point game and a 3 point game is huge. So this is a good idea for the timeout here.
Just everything's so key at this stage in the match. It'll be 22 serving 20. The Nukes, who have a 1-0 lead here in this National 17U men's final here at the Hank Rise Soccer Center in Saskatoon. Great to see support for both teams. Winnipeg to get here. Probably about a 10-hour drive or so along the Yellowhead Highway, so lots of parents and family here from Winnipeg. And Edmonton about 5 or 6 hours down the road on the Yellowhead as well, so a nice little prairie convergence here in the fun.
Yeah, Winnipeg was never our favorite bus trip to make in the winter with the Huskies, so I can understand how long it takes to get there, but nice to see so many parents and supporters out.
That's not the most scenic bus ride you'll ever take. Imagine it was a fun time when you got there, though. 22 serving 20. Nielsen off the net. Whistles blow. And a point going the way of the Nukes.
Yeah, that's a tough set dropping inside, but what we'd like to see from number 9, Nigel Nielsen, is a nice high shot, even if he's rolling it into the other side, but tough swing there.
23-20, Maris serves. Jeanette off the block, off of players, That ball pinballing through 24-20.
The Nooks are looking so strong right now in all aspects of their game, their serve, their block, and their attack. Let's see if they can finish off this match point here.
Checking into this game is Darian Morris-Izzard. The Nooks 1 point away from a 17U men's national title. Chase Maris is serving. Maris. Jeanette. Nielsen. Covered by Maris. Kern gets to it. Stewart. Calgie. Nielsen. Off the block. And in. And the Nooks can't quite celebrate yet.
Yeah, that's a great swing by Nielsen, finding that seam between the block and a nice hard cross-court shot. Good for him.
Jackson Pankratz trying to keep his team alive in this gold medal final. 21 serving 24. Second set. Pankratz just over the tape. Kern. Stewart! And it's a national title for the Nooks. They come from a place that's been called the City of Champions, and championship gold going back to Edmonton.
Absolutely. What an exciting time for these Nooks. You see them, they're all gathering in the center of the court. This is one of the best feelings as an athlete you can have. What a great, dominating performance by them this afternoon. Congratulations to the Nooks.
The Nooks have been good all tournament long, obviously, to get here to this Tier 1 final, but they really brought it here, and they really, I felt, saved their best for last here.
Absolutely. Despite a lot of pressure, too, coming from the Winman midway through the second set, they were able to regain their composure and finish off that set so strong. And it's just such a great game for them to end on, and that's an awesome 17U Tier 1 gold medal for them to win.
25-21. The Nooks take 17U gold. Interview with Nathan Kern, winner, coach of the Nooks. Nathan, you know, that's a good team that you guys managed to beat in 2 sets. You know, talk about that match from your perspective.
Well, you know, we struggled a little bit this tournament getting everybody going, but we found a way to kind of put it together in the end. We had guys firing, and we kind of came together at the right time.
You did have guys firing. What's your team's bread and butter? You know, what wins your team games?
You know, we've got a team of great chemistry, guys that are super skilled, they work hard, and, you know, just a bunch of guys that just love hanging out with.
How does a national championship feel for you?
Feels pretty good. It's my 4th one. I've had silvers, finally got a gold.
Right
it
on.
Feels good.
Right on. Edmonton's been called the City of Champions, so it's probably nice to bring that moniker back to the city. Eh?
It is. We look forward to next year's. We're going to keep on working hard and try and make a repeat next year.
Right on. What does this medal do for your program, you know, right now?
You know, the exposure of the Nooks. The Nooks is a relatively new volleyball club. We've done really well in the last few nationals, and the exposure has been tremendous. We've had so much interest from other clubs, and we just want to continue to grow.
Right on. Congratulations, Nathan.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
How does the national championship feel, Cam?
Oh, it's awesome. It's our 3rd time in the final, and it's the first time we've won, so it was great to pull it out this time.
I imagine, you know, this was a great group of guys to win with, eh?
Yeah, the best guys we could have had on the team. Like, I couldn't have asked for better teammates.
When you guys are at your best, you know, what's the bread and butter of the Nooks team?
We're just all firing. Like, every one of us can put a ball away, and we really showed that.